So Samsung's Galaxy Unpacked event is just exactly 20 days away, and we are expecting a handful of devices to be launched during this event. But notably, the most excited one that everyone is talking about and the one that's been rumored is the Galaxy foldable lineup, which is the Galaxy Z Fold 5 and also the Galaxy Z Flip 5. According to leaks and rumors, Samsung is making big changes to the foldable lineup this year, and we are expecting to see a lot of different things, including a lot of improvements, and rumors suggest that this may be the most powerful and probably even the cheapest Z Fold 5 device. Let's start talking about the specs and what we know so far, starting with the display. So Samsung is expected to still have a tall aspect ratio. We were hearing rumors that we may see a wider aspect ratio, similar to the Google Pixel Fold and the Oppo Find N, which have a wider aspect ratio, but it looks like Samsung will still be adapting the same 6.2-inch AMOLED display on the front, which is going to have 120 Hz display, and the main display on the inside is rumored to again be the same 7.6-inch AMOLED display, also housing 120 Hz of refresh rate. This is pretty much the same specs as last year, but there is one change that we are expected to see, and that is the under-display camera. We are hearing that there may be changes in the quality and the megapixels. We still don't know exactly, but under-display cameras are known to be bad quality. We've seen them on past foldable devices and the quality is pretty bad. So we are expecting to see an improvement at least on the under-display camera. When it comes to the performance of the Z Fold 5, we are expecting to have the latest Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chip. And I think it is expected because last year's Galaxy Fold 4 housed the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 chip. So it's just right for it to come with the latest, and that is the flagship chip right now at the moment. This is also going to be paired with 12 gigs of RAM. 12 gigs was also the same RAM storage that we had last time, and it is expected to go up to 512 gigs of internal storage. If this is actually true, then we may actually see the most powerful foldable device that's out there at the moment in the market. This is also further going to be paired with Android 14, which is going to be based on One UI 6, and a lot of people will be wondering that Android 14 hasn't been launched yet. But the thing is that this is just a launch. It's not actually going to be available to the public. So we are expecting the Z Fold 5 and the Z Flip 5 to be available right around August, which is when Android 14 would most likely already be out. But now let's talk about the most exciting part about the foldable lineup when it comes to the Z Fold 5 and the Z Flip 5, and that is the hinge. Because for the first time, it looks like Samsung is actually now catching up to the game and doing what everyone else is doing and finally closing the gap on the hinge. So yes, we are rumored to see a huge difference, and this is probably the biggest design difference that we are going to be seeing on the foldable devices. So the Z Fold 5 and the Z Flip 5 will now have a teardrop designed hinge, which is supposed to close the gap and just make sure that we no longer have that hideous gap, which was something that a lot of people didn't like, and there was a lot of negative feedback about the gap. I myself didn't really like it, and I actually preferred other phones. Honor's Magic VS didn't have a gap. The Oppo Find N didn't have a gap. The Pixel Fold didn't have a gap. So it was kind of surprising that Samsung was still using that technology. And according to some images, which I will show you guys in a little bit, it looks like it's actually coming true. So this year, we may actually see a Z Fold device without a gap. This improvement would also bring down the thickness of the phone. So currently the Z Fold 4 sits at around 16 millimeters of thickness when it's folded state, and with the new hinge it is supposed to go down to 13 millimeters, which is a notable difference, especially if you're holding it in your hands. So the images of the Z Fold 5, which I'm showing you right now, were shared by Snoopy Tech, which gave us a first look into what the Samsung Z Fold 5 is going to be looking like. And design-wise, you can see that there's not a lot of changes. And as I did mention, that the hinge is going to be the biggest design change on the Galaxy Z Fold 5. This image was later on also backed up by real-world photos, which also shared some images of a similar-looking Galaxy Z Fold device. And as you can see in these images, it is also showing a photo of the phone in the folded state without a gap. So this kind of confirms that the hinge change is actually happening this year. On top of that, we also have another big update when it comes to the hinge. So it's now going to be certified with IP58 certifications. That means that it is going to have dust protection. It's not going to have a dust seal, but it is going to have somewhat dust protection. And this is on top of the already existing water resistance, which is going to be a huge change. And this is, I believe, the only reason why people will now prefer the Galaxy Z Fold 5 as compared to the others that are out there. We're also expecting to see OnePlus come out with a foldable device, and I'm not sure whether those devices or any of the devices have both waterproofing and also have dust protection. So Galaxy Z Fold 5 would probably be the first device that comes out with both of these things, which is something that we've all been waiting for, and finally we may actually be able to see it. And as I said, I think this is going to be the biggest selling point when it comes to choosing between other foldable devices and Samsung's Z Fold 5. If we talk about the cameras, we were initially expecting, and rumors also suggested, a 108 megapixel sensor similar to the one that we saw on the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. And that would have been great, but it looks like that's actually not true. And according to a tweet from Yogesh Brar, we are going to see the exact same setup, which is, I think, disappointing to say the least. And I think you guys would also agree. So we are going to see a main 50 megapixel camera, which is going to be paired alongside a 12 megapixel ultra wide and a 10 megapixel telephoto lens. Last but not least, we're going to talk about the pricing of the Galaxy Z Fold 5 and the Z Flip 5. So initial rumors suggested that the price for the first time on the Galaxy Z Fold 5 would actually be coming down. Every foldable out there is between $1,300 to $1,800, sometimes even more depending on what specs you go to. So the Pixel Fold is also, I think, starts at $1,700, similar to the Oppo Find N, which starts around the same price range. I don't expect the OnePlus to come any cheaper than this, but as initial rumors suggested, there is a chance that we may see a lower price tag, and that would be a real game changer. The biggest downside to foldables, and there was actually a poll in which people were asked what is the reason why you're not buying a foldable, and everyone mentioned that 90% of the people said that it was the price of the foldable devices. So if price comes down, then there is a chance that people will actually buy it. So looking at other competitions, if they're around the same price, and Samsung is the only company that's advertising their Fold around $200 less, then I think that would be a big selling point for Samsung. If we convert $1,800 in dirhams, that's around 6,600 dirhams, and I think that's the price that it will retail at, but you never know. It's still a mystery. This segment is something that a lot of people are not sure about. There haven't been really a lot of reports about the price because that's something that's really decided towards the end. So yeah guys, that wraps up today's video. Let me know what you guys think of the Galaxy Z Fold 5. What are some things or what are some features that you would like to see? This was everything we know about the Galaxy Z Fold lineup. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.